Mr. Hudson is here. Mr. Charlie. Who is Mr. Charlie? A second later, Orville rushed in, trembling, and kicked Blake straight to the ground. You're an idiot! You can't even recognize Mr. Charlie? I'll kill you! Orville kept kicking Blake, yelling at him frantically. Blake, who had been acting so tough just moments ago, now looked like a drowned rat. Elsa was speechless. What was happening? The goons were also panicking. This young guy was actually Mr. Charlie? They had just tried to attack him. They really had a death wish. Orville yelled at the others. What are you all just standing there for? Get on your knees and apologize to Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie, we're so sorry. We were blind not to see who you were. We almost messed with you. Please, let us go. The men dropped to their knees, bowing and scraping, apologizing frantically. Blake was terrified too. He dropped to his knees and begged for mercy. I'm so sorry, Mr. Charlie. Please forgive me. Please spare me this one time. Orville even slapped himself, saying nervously, Mr. Charlie, this is my fault. I failed, and I let my men bother you and your friends. Charlie glanced at Elsa and said lightly, I just invited my wife's friend to dinner. Then he looked at the others and said coldly, They are not my friends. Elsa was completely shocked. It turned out Charlie wasn't bragging at all. He really had booked a room at the mansion, and it was the exclusive diamond box. More importantly, this room had been reserved for him by Orville himself. Remembering how she had looked down on Charlie before, Elsa's face flushed red with shame. At that moment, Harold trembled when he heard what they were saying. What was happening? Charlie, that loser, was a friend of Mr. Hudson? Wendy was terrified too. Charlie actually knew Orville Hudson. The crazy part was how nice Mr. Hudson was to him. Then she looked at her fiancé Gerald, who was unconscious and bleeding on the floor. Orville wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and promised, Mr. Charlie, don't worry. This will never happen again. From now on, you can come to the mansion and use the diamond box whenever you want. As for him, I'll deal with him later. Charlie just grunted, then turned to Elsa. Elsa, I've had enough to eat. This place is a mess. Let's get out of here. Charlie's voice snapped Elsa out of her shock. What about the others? She asked instinctively. She looked at Harold, Gerald, and Wendy's awful conditions and couldn't help but worry. Charlie said casually, Let Mr. Hudson handle it. Orville immediately added, Mr. Charlie, don't worry. I'll get an ambulance and have them taken to the hospital for treatment. All right. Charlie nodded. In that case, we'll get going. Elsa was still in a bit of a daze as she followed Charlie out of the mansion. Once they were outside, Elsa couldn't calm her racing heart. She looked at Charlie, who seemed completely unfazed, and felt like he was shrouded in a fog, mysterious and deep. Charlie, what was all that back there? Before Elsa could finish, Charlie cut her off, saying flatly, Elsa, please keep what happened today a secret. If Claire finds out, she'll be upset that I'm involved with shady people like Orville. Elsa had no choice but to nod. Okay, I understand. After Charlie and Elsa left, Orville arranged for an ambulance to take everyone to the hospital. Wendy's jaw was broken, leaving her face permanently disfigured. One of Harold's hands was nearly useless, and it would take a long time to heal, if ever. As for Gerald, he had a severe concussion. Although he was out of immediate danger, he would suffer from the after effects for the rest of his life. Elsa's meeting with Doris Young from the Grand Group was tomorrow. After leaving the mansion, Charlie drove her back to her hotel and then left. Elsa was still reeling from the shock of dinner as she thought about what her future held. She had come to Oris Hill supposedly to work for the Grand Group, but her real reason was a heavy family responsibility. Her dad had told her some top-secret news. The Wades, The most powerful family of Eastcliff had found their heir, who had been missing for many years. They had also bought the Grand Group to let the young man learn the ropes. In other words, the Wade family heir was right here in Orris Hill, and he was the chairman of the Grand Group. Although the Gardner family was well respected in Eastcliff, they were strictly second tier, 1,000 miles away from the status of the Wade family. Because of this, the Gardner family was hoping Elsa could use her position to find a way to meet the Wade family heir. If she could start a relationship with him, and that led to a marriage, it would be a huge victory for them. Even though Elsa was repulsed by the idea, she couldn't ignore the immense pressure on her shoulders to revive her family's fortunes. She had traveled all this way to Orris Hill and taken a job at the Grand Group for one reason: to get close to its mysterious chairman and find a way to catch his eye. Back in Eastcliff, Elsa was considered a top beauty among the elite. She was confident that her looks, intelligence, skills, and great figure would be more than enough to capture the attention of the Wade family heir. If she could really marry him, the Gardner family's fortunes would be completely restored. They would secure their place as a top-tier family. Just thinking about it filled her with anticipation for starting her new job tomorrow. At the same time, she was filled with curiosity about the mysterious man from the Wade family. She couldn't help but wonder, how old was this Wade family heir? What did he look like? Was he charming, tall, and handsome? She couldn't resist pulling out her phone and opening her video app. She clicked on a video in her favorites that had tens of millions of views. It was the viral video of Charlie confronting the sales director at Rare Earth with a mountain of cash. She'd watched this video over and over, analyzing it. She knew it was filmed in Orris Hill, right around the time the news broke about the Wade heir being found. Because of that, she guessed that the insanely rich guy in the video had to be the youngest of the Wade family, the chairman of the Grand Group. She zoomed in on the man's back, studying his every move. From the blurry video, she could tell the famous internet mystery man was probably in his 20s, tall and thin, but his face was never visible. Still, his build was impressive, not far off from some American supermodels. With a body like that, she figured his face had to be just as good. But then, Elsa felt a strange sense of familiarity. Why did this guy's posture seem so much like Charlie's? She dismissed the thought almost immediately. It was impossible. Charlie was just the son-in-law of the Wilson family. What kind of power did the Wilsons have? They couldn't even compare to a single hair on the Wade family's head. If Charlie really was the Wade heir, why would he be stuck living with a down-and-out family like the Wilsons? She decided she was just overthinking things. The next day, Elsa arrived at the Grand Group bright and early. Vice Chairwoman Doris Young personally handled her onboarding. Doris took her to the administrative department, walked her through her new responsibilities, and then said, "Elsa, if you ever have any questions, you can ask me directly or just come by my office." Elsa nodded gratefully, then asked cautiously, "Miss Young, I was wondering if I might have a chance to meet the chairman. Since I'll be handling administrative affairs for the company, I'm worried I might accidentally overlook something important if I've never met him." Doris was immediately on high alert. Charlie had asked her just the other day to keep an eye on Elsa, and now, on her first day, she was already asking about the chairman. It was too much of a coincidence to ignore. She had no idea what this beautiful girl who had come all this way to work for the Grand Group was really after. She said to Elsa, "Our chairman doesn't come into the office very often, but if he does, I'll let him know. If he wants to meet with you, I'll be sure to inform you." Elsa's heart sank with a little disappointment. But she managed a smile and said, "Thank you, Mrs. Young." As soon as Doris Young was back in her office, she called Charlie to report what had happened. The moment Charlie heard that Elsa had tried to meet him on her very first day, His guard went up. This woman was definitely here for him. What was her goal? Was she trying to get close to him to hurt him or to seduce him? Whatever her reason, the thought of it left a bad taste in Charlie's mouth. So he decided right then to keep his distance from Elsa, and more importantly, to make sure she never found out who he really was. That night, to celebrate Elsa's new job, Claire made a reservation at a fancy hotel to treat her to dinner. As Claire's husband, Charlie was expected to go with her. This made Charlie's mood sink. Just when he had decided to keep his distance from Elsa, he was now going to have dinner with her that very night. But, as annoyed as he was, he still got ready to go to the hotel with Claire. However, when they arrived, Charlie's jaw dropped. He realized Claire had chosen the Sky Garden at the Aurelius Grand. The Sky Garden ballroom is typically reserved for high-profile guests, so they never offer private room service. But Charlie had managed to book the entire place for their wedding anniversary, something the Aurelius Grand had never done before, and their anniversary was just 3 days away. A massive, eye-catching sign stood at the entrance of the Aurelius Grand. The Sky Garden will be privately booked in 3 days. We apologize for any inconvenience, but it will be unavailable to all other guests at that time. Everyone who saw the notice was in shock. Someone had actually booked the entire Sky Garden at the Aurelius Grand? They never did private bookings. It was said that the children of several powerful politicians in the city had wanted to have their wedding receptions there, but they were all turned down flat. Who on earth had enough clout to book the entire Sky Garden? Claire saw the sign and gasped in surprise. Wow, the Sky Garden is actually booked? That's incredible. Charlie, standing beside her, just smiled and said, "What's so incredible? It's a ballroom, isn't it? Of course people can book it." "You don't get it," Claire said, her tone serious. "The Aurelius Grand isn't just some local hotel. It's one of the top hotel chains in the world. Their Sky Garden is their signature feature, and it's meant exclusively for high-end guests. If one big shot books the whole place, then all the other wealthy guests can't use it. That's why they never offer it for private events." With that, Claire couldn't help but sigh. I can't even imagine who this person is. To be able to book this entire place is just amazing. Charlie deliberately smiled and said, "Maybe it's someone who really loves his wife and wants to throw a wedding celebration for her." Claire's eyes widened. A wedding for his wife? Here? Wow, he must really love her. His wife is so incredibly lucky. Hearing his wife say that made Charlie really happy. It looked like the place he picked was going to be a huge hit with his wife on their anniversary. The two of them went into the Sky Garden and found their reserved table. Elsa showed up just a few minutes later. "Claire! Elsa!" The two friends hugged each other, overjoyed. Afterward, they held hands and chatted for a long time, catching up on everything, before finally settling down. Elsa said, "Claire, you're spending way too much. You didn't have to pick the Sky Garden." Claire smiled and said, "When you're here, I have to go all out. I don't care about the cost." Elsa chuckled. "You're seriously the best girlfriend ever." Claire said, "Honestly, I'm not even important enough to get a table here on my own. I had to ask Doris Young, the vice chairman of the M Grand Group, to help me get this reservation using her membership card." Elsa sighed. "The Sky Garden seems super exclusive. You have to be like a diamond member or something, right?" "Yeah," Claire nodded. "Honestly, this is my first time ever being here." Elsa smiled and said, "Thank you so much, my generous queen." After a moment, she added, "By the way, when I was coming up just now, I saw a sign outside saying the Sky Garden was booked out in 3 days." "Yes," Claire said, "it's weird. The Sky Garden has never taken private bookings before. I have no idea what's different this time." Elsa nodded and said casually, A little while ago, there was this crazy rich guy in Heir's Hill. He bought some necklace and showed up with dozens of luxury cars, a bunch of guys in black suits, and over $10 million in cash. Did you see that video? Charlie shook his head, but Claire said, I saw it. The whole thing was a huge spectacle. Elsa said, everyone's trying to figure out who he is. Claire shrugged. What's there to guess about? Elsa smiled and said, it's the talk of the town. Everyone wants to know who's got that much power. Some people are saying it has to be the new chairman of the Grant Group. For a second, Charlie froze, but he quickly composed himself. Elsa continued, and now the Sky Garden is booked out. I have a feeling the person who booked the garden is the same one who bought that diamond in the video. Claire sighed dramatically. I haven't seen you in forever, and you're still the biggest gossip I know. Elsa laughed and said, Hey, gossip is what keeps life interesting. Then Elsa added, I'm definitely coming back in 3 days to see for myself. I have to know who has that kind of pull and can reserve the entire Sky Garden. Hearing this, Charlie's stomach dropped. He just wanted to surprise his wife and give her the beautiful wedding celebration they never had. He didn't want the whole world watching. But it seemed he had seriously underestimated how much buzz the Sky Garden would create. He realized now that tons of people in Heir's Hill probably had the same idea as Elsa. They all wanted to see who was behind the reservation for the Sky Garden. This was getting complicated. He thought to himself, I need to talk to Isaac and get everything sorted out. Whatever happens, I can't let my identity get out. During their meal, Elsa said to them, So while I'm in Heir's Hill, I made plans with some of our old classmates. We all thought it would be a good chance to have a reunion. What do you guys think? Charlie immediately said, If you're having a class reunion, you can count me out. Why? Elsa asked. Even though we weren't in the same 4-year program, we were still classmates for a year. When the old master of the Wilson family had taken Charlie in, he had sent him to Heir's Hill University so he could get to know Claire. He had been in the same class as Claire for their senior year. After they graduated, they got married right away. But Charlie had only been classmates with those people for a year, and most of them had always looked down on him. He hadn't made any real friends, so the thought of a class reunion didn't interest him at all. Claire didn't really want to go to the reunion either, so she said, I'm not going either. I haven't really kept in touch with most of my classmates since graduation. Elsa quickly said, The main reason for the reunion this time is that Darren from our class is opening a restaurant. It opens tomorrow. He's inviting everyone to come hang out at his new place and have a meal together. Then Elsa added, Come on, it's his grand opening. It would be kind of rude not to go, don't you think? Just as she finished speaking, all 3 of their phones buzzed with a text notification. Then a flood of more notifications came in. They all pulled out their phones to see what was going on. It turned out that Darren had created a group chat for their old classmates, and it had quickly grown to over 30 people. Darren had written in the group, Hey everyone, the little restaurant I invested in is officially opening tomorrow at noon. It's here in Heir's Hill. All of you who are in town should come by and check it out. It'll be a mini class reunion. And what's even better, Elsa, one of the 2 campus beauties from our class, is also going to be in Heir's Hill for work. She'll be at the party too. I hear she's still single, so all you bachelors in the group better hurry up. Immediately, a bunch of people started replying. Wow, congratulations! Oh, Elsa's in Heir's Hill? How come we didn't know? I'll definitely be there. What about Claire, the other campus beauty from our class? Is she coming? I heard Claire ended up with Charlie, the guy who joined our class late, right? And I heard he's still living with the Wilson family? Yeah, I heard that too. Not sure if it's true or not. I haven't seen either of them since graduation. I heard it's not even a real marriage, that they're married in name only. Is that true? Claire saw the messages and said to Charlie, Don't let it get to you. Charlie just smiled slightly. It's okay. What they're saying is basically the truth anyway. I'm used to it by now. Elsa quickly typed a message in the group chat. Hey, stop gossiping about people. I'm having dinner with them right now, and they're an amazing couple. Oh, it's Elsa. A bunch of guys immediately started sucking up to her. Just then, Darren, the group leader, tagged Charlie directly in the chat. Charlie, hey man! Even though you were only in our class for a short time, we got along really well back in school. You and your wife have to be there tomorrow. Charlie actually had a good impression of Darren. The guy was genuinely nice. He was always kind to everyone and never made fun of anyone. He was one of the few classmates Charlie actually got along with. Seeing Darren's personal invitation, Charlie replied right away, Okay, man. I'll definitely be there to support you tomorrow. Darren replied instantly, That's awesome. We have to catch up tomorrow. Seeing that Charlie had agreed to the reunion, Claire reminded him, We have to get a gift for the grand opening of Darren's restaurant. We can't show up empty-handed. Charlie nodded. Okay, I'll buy him a gift tomorrow morning. Okay, Claire said. Actually, I have to go to the M Grand group tomorrow morning anyway. Elsa asked, surprised, Oh, you're going to the M Grand group tomorrow? When you're done, come find me. I can drive your car over to Darren's restaurant at noon. Claire smiled. I think you're getting ahead of yourself. I don't have a car. I usually take a taxi or the bus. Sometimes Charlie picks me up on his e-bike. What? Elsa blurted out. You're a director and you haven't bought a car yet? Claire said, I haven't been working that long, and I haven't made much money. Charlie and I share our expenses, and I have to help out with my mom's living costs. I can only save maybe a few thousand a month, which isn't enough to buy a car. Then Claire added, Besides, to be honest, the bus is pretty convenient, and when the weather's nice, Charlie's e-bike is great too. Elsa said, Sometimes you have to keep up appearances. You're the director of the Wilson Group now, and you're the one working directly with the M Grand Group. If you don't even have a car, people are going to talk. Elsa said seriously. Sometimes you have to keep up appearances. You're the director of the Wilson Group now, and you're the one working directly with the M Grand Group. If you don't even have a car, people are going to talk. Charlie had to admit, Elsa had a point. His wife had always been too frugal, and most of the money she earned went straight to his mother-in-law, so she never really spent anything on herself. His mother-in-law was a bottomless pit who only took and never gave. She'd saved up over $1 million just to throw it away on a shady investment, instead of spending a fraction of that to buy her own daughter a car. Thinking about it, he realized he needed to buy a car for his wife. It would make it so much easier for her to get around and run errands, and it would look better when she was meeting clients for business. Having made up his mind, he decided to go check out a car dealership first thing tomorrow morning. After dinner, the couple and Elsa left, taking a cab home together. On the cab's radio, the hosts were talking about the Sky Garden at the Aurelius Grand being booked for a private event. The hosts were amazed, saying it was the first time in history that the Aurelius Grand had made an exception and closed off the entire Sky Garden for someone. They were also dying to know who could have that kind of influence. The cab driver chimed in, I bet you anything, the person who booked the whole Sky Garden has to be one of those crazy rich guys you see on the internet. Charlie stayed quiet, but he was surprised. It seemed like the news of the Sky Garden at the Aurelius Grand being reserved had really made waves all over Oris Hill. That night, the news spread like wildfire all over Oris Hill. Soon, it was the talk of the town, and everyone was buzzing about it. Everyone knew that the Aurelius Grand had a strict membership policy, and only their top-tier members ever got to use the Sky Garden. As for booking the entire place, forget about it. Even diamond-level members weren't allowed to do that. So the question of who could possibly book the entire Sky Garden became the biggest mystery in the city. Rumors started flying. Some said it was that super rich guy who went viral all over the country. Others claimed it was some wealthy foreigner. And then there were those who said it was a mysterious man and that he'd booked the place to throw a huge, romantic wedding. That last rumor, the wedding one, seemed to be the most believable. Before long, that's what everyone was talking about, and the rumors just kept growing.
This is only 5% of the story. Full story on Pocket FM app. Click on the link in description, install the app, and get 10 episodes free instantly.